Welcome to In the Mix Africa, undoubtedly my favorite episode of the year. I had so much joy. I couldn't even fathom how much joy I was feeling. Arsenal wins against Fulham 3-0. Manchester City draws against Everton 3-3 after leading 1-0. And just as a little bit of a cherry on the cake, Chelsea loses. It's inconsequential to us, but it's nice to see either way. And of course, Arsenal making it to the UEFA Champions League final. Incredible achievement for the team. The second time they've ever done it, and the second time in 20 years. This is In the Mix Africa. We are also going to be joined by someone who needs no introduction, a CV that does not need to be read, a work plan that shows itself every single time his team is on the field. His name is Ronnie Kanalelo, and we're going to be talking about Ongos doing what needs to be done. Can they go all the way in their current tournament? And of course, Brian is going to be cooking with a smile on his face. Manchester United has made it into the Champions League. Of course, as we know, Arsenal's victory against Fulham was the one which made it official that United can't win the league this season. Yes, I know a lot of you didn't know. United was still in contention in spite of how they looked. This is In the Mix Africa. Welcome to the best show of the year. I am now joined by Coach Ronnie, coach of Ongos, and what a time, what a time. It was a long season. Now we're at a post-season tournament with an opportunity to grab glory. How's it going?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I mean, the season has been actually not long, you know, because we always start late.
Yes.
And then there's also too many rest periods in between and stuff. And you know, it has been an exciting league race. You know, it was always African Stars, the Chula Chula. Mighty Gunners was also in the running there, and then some from nowhere. Ongos, we sneaked in from the blind side, and then there was a period where it looked like we can challenge the top two teams up there, but I think the quality was not good enough to actually finish the race.
All right, well, now there's an opportunity to grab some silverware before the end of the year, playing UNAM this coming weekend. What are your thoughts heading into that clash?
Yeah, you know, everyone wants to go to the final. That's the first priority, you know, for this game in the semi-finals, and that's what we have in mind, you know. But I always say that we need to do the work on the field, and that will determine the end result. So that's the alternative for us.
And look, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. UNAM is a place you used to ply your trade. How do you feel with regards to that dynamic? You know them quite well, without a doubt, but of course, right now you're wearing a different hat.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's as coaches, you know, we come and go, you know, and it's just part of our job, you know. We don't go through the emotions, but it's also a club that gave me the platform to implement something that is not usual in our football, where you have you come up with a blueprint, and then you have a specific recruitment system in place, where you look for talented players with good technical qualities that you can always improve, and to drive your blueprint, you drive the objective of the whole game model. And I think UNAM was the first club to implement a game model.
And you know, I have a name for it. I would call it the Ronnie philosophy. And if you release a book by that name, I'll be ready to read it.
Thank you.
All right, so would you say right now, of course, the players are hoping to take the league. That did not happen. Kudos to African Stars. But would you say your players right now are even more motivated?
Yeah, I mean, if you are not motivated to to win, then there's something wrong. But I mean, we the coaches, we have to put that on the table. You know, we have to bring that into the team. You know, to bring in a winning mentality, winning culture. You know, so if the players don't have it, then we should look into ourselves as the technical team and say it's actually us failing the players. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a career that spans decades. So there's no need, I don't think you're motivated by prize money. I don't believe that's really it. But what do you think it means for the psychology of your team should they win before we get into the next season?
You know, I mean, everyone wants to play for honors. But, you know, as much as we don't want to talk about the prize money. We don't want to talk about anything else. But I think, I mean, to walk into your house and see your trophy or your medal there, and, you know, in the cabinet. I mean, that's you know, it's nobody can take it away.
Yes.
You know, for the rest of your life. You know, they can say you were not a good coach, you were not a good player, etc. Ongos was not a good team, but you know, there's a trophy, and that's it.
All right. Well, we certainly hope that you managed to get that done. Just now, Brian is going to join us as he takes us through the cooking. You and Brian can do the cooking. As I started the show, I said for me, it's the business end of the season for Arsenal. So I won't be doing any cooking. I'm going to keep my suit on right now. We've got a lot of work to do.
No. I mean, Arsenal has done well. I hope they take it. It will be an unjust for them. You know. I mean, towards the end, there was a period where it looked like they are running away with the league, and then later on, you know, they struggled and other teams caught up. But I mean, that's a cycle of the game itself.
The
you
ball
know,
is round.
I saw it with Ongos too. You know, there was a period that we did well, and then there was a period we were not doing well, and then all of a sudden we are in contention for the league, and then all of a sudden, again, you know, we are out of the contention of the league, and you know, that's a cycle, you know, because when you do well, other teams are not doing well. When other teams are starting to do well, and then all of a sudden you are, you know, there's no club that keeps the same consistency from start to finish.
Especially because once you are succeeding, all the teams are watching you, and they're fashioning their football around you. So some guys adjust, and then you have to take it to a next level, you know, to go the way. All right. We're going to be cooking with Brian just now, and trust me, the football chats will continue.
Okay, viewers, as you guys know it, we are back with another edition of Bet with the Best. I am joined by my brother, Jevon. Wilson, Jeff.
Yes, Brian.
United doing really well.
Yeah.
Hate watching not going so good for you with the Arsenal. Is it done?
Let's focus on the positives. Champions League football for the mighty United next season. Michael Carrick has done the job, so we are very, very happy about that. As for Arsenal, in the final against PSG, what a final that will be, obviously. On the 30th of May. We look forward to that, and we will be supporting the French Giants all the way.
Okay, you know I've been cheering the French on ever since the beginning of the tournament. I had no doubt they'll go past Bayern Munich. I mean, they play in the finals. The odds are stacked against the Arsenal. What if the Arsenal causes the upset and gets the double?
I really don't want to think about the apocalypse there and all of that. Look, it's going to be a feat. We have to be honest there. Unbeaten, they'll be invincibles once again, as they were the last time they won the league. So it might be coming in full circle for the Arsenal. We hope not, obviously, because of the fans. And
we know how the Arsenal fans can get,
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to wait and see. They have West Ham on the weekend at the London Stadium, which is not going to be an easy game as well. We know they're fighting relegation there.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens, and all the best to them.
Look, I think this is the season where Arsenal gets to do it. I hope they don't win the Champions League, but I won't discard putting away $100 to just put on Arsenal beating PSG in that Champions League final, just in case they do, because if they do it, then they probably become the first team to win the Premier League as Invincibles and the Champions League as Invincible.
As I said,
and look, the Champions League, they won it in 2000, the Premier League, they won it in 2004 last, when they were Invincibles. We still hear about the Invincibles till today. So imagine if they had to do it in the Champions League.
I don't want to imagine that. That's the thing. But yeah, it's a feat. But you have the best defense. Arsenal only conceded 6 goals.
6 goals in the Champions League. That's
up
massive.
Against the best attacking team in the Champions League. 44 goals scored there for PSG. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Okay, cool. I think I have one more question for you. If PSG do win the Champions League, who wins the Ballon d'Or? Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, or do we give it to Dembele? We can keep the answer for the end of the show. Cool. For now, let's go through your bet slips. We have some good tips for you guys. The long weekend just passed. People need some money, Jeff. So let's help them make some
Before
cash.
we go there, the previous bet slip, the treble came through.
Okay.
There was a game that played over the
If
weekend.
you guys didn't jump on me, then it's on you.
Yeah, treble came through. There's another treble this weekend. We're going with Adelaide United and Auckland FC.
Sheldon asked, where do you get these teams
It's the
from?
A-League in Australia. Both teams to score.
Okay, A-League in Australia.
Just follow.
Okay.
We have our Classico game this weekend, Barcelona, Real Madrid, both teams to score.
Okay.
And then we'll throw in the MMA fight with Kamzat against Sean Strickland. We'll go Kamzat win by submission. Good odds. I think it's almost 4 odds. $200 gives you about 800.
Is it 4 for him to win?
No. The
in
collective
total.
bet slip, the total
4,
odds.
put down 500, get 2K. Easy as that. Okay, I have a 5-fold. I'm going $100 for 2.7. So my first game, I have Chelsea and Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to win that game, if I'm being honest, because they're at home, but both teams are not that good. So I'm going to go for both teams to score in over 2.5. I'm going to add Manchester United. KK doesn't agree with me. He's nodding his head. He's saying United won't play a full squad, so he thinks we won't win. But I'm saying United for the win. 1.8 odds, we can't ignore those. We can't ignore those for the form that we've been in. I'm going to add Manchester City to bounce back from that woeful draw and beat Brentford at least by
What are those odds? Against Brentford?
1.6 for them to win over 2.5. So the bookies don't think it's going to be a hard game for Man City.
Game, yeah.
And then we have Barcelona beating Real Madrid. I'm going to go for Barca and both teams to score. Real Madrid have just, it's been bad from Mbappe, hey? It's been bad from Mbappe. And then the final game, I have Bayern Munich winning at least this game against Wolfsburg. I think they will bounce back after the knockout in the Champions League. So in total, we have 25 odds. I'm going $100 for 2.7. Bet slip is on your screen if you want to jump on, by all means. And with betting, it's very important. You follow the wave of the guy who makes the money. So Jevon has done it now back-to-back, I think, with the trebles.
Yeah.
So the recipe works. This guy is sticking to 3 games, so if you want to jump on board, definitely make sure to get on that treble of Jevon, and you can win yourself some money. Let's not forget the bet of the week. Match of the week, we have the El Clasico. So all you have to do is comment with your prediction, tag 3 friends, and if your predictions are correct, you win your share of 5,000 Namibian dollars in free bets so that you can make yourself some money. Did we forget anything?
Yes, we did.
Millionaire Mania.
Come on, it's the last
Millionaire
month.
Mania.
Yeah, make sure you get your bets in, 25 Namibian dollars or more. If it's a losing bet, it automatically qualifies to be in the draw for a silver ticket. This is the last month for silver ticket draws. Thereafter, in the middle of June, we will then announce the final silver ticket draws, which is about 10 participants. From there, one participant will walk away with 1 million Namibian dollars in cash. So get to bet. Get your betting on.
There you guys have it. So one will walk away with $1 million. That could be you. Place your bets, and maybe you could stand a chance to win. But from us here in studio, until next week, place your bets, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts. Starting from $500 Namibian excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 Namibian per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more. Or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
As you know, on Short Corner, Rorisang Mokgojwe in Botswana has been keeping us updated with regards to the World Athletics Relays. And we are happy to say that the event was incredible. It was impeccable. And here she is once again in her own words.
Sir, we are still celebrating. I mean, days later after the competition has ended, the excitement is still real about the boys winning the gold and keeping the diamonds here at home. Remember, the medals were embedded with real diamonds right here from the soil of Botswana. Now, members of the public did express a lot of excitement about having been able to witness such a historic event. Remember, it was the very first one hosted on African soil, and so they came out in large numbers and filled the national stadium on Saturday and Sunday. And a lot of the athletes that we spoke to did say that not only are the people from Botswana, not only are they warm, but also the crowd that was at the national stadium was electric, and it was encouraging and enabled them to put on a good show. And sure enough, members of the public did go out to support not only Team Botswana, but most or all of the athletes that were participating. Now, this was a good thing for the public image of Botswana, especially in that as the country prepared for hosting this global event, there had been key concerns that were raised by the public about Botswana's preparedness to host the event. Some of the concerns were about the marketing of the event, the infrastructure as well as the resources that were available, and there were questions as to whether we would be ready on time and we had enough to become the great hosts that we think we are. And sure enough, I think expectations were exceeded in that event. The local organizing committee did assure that everything will happen as planned, and it seems like everything did. However, there were a few hiccups here and there. Of course, there's always it's always a learning curve for something like this where there had been challenges. The local organizing committee moved quickly to sort these challenges out. And when we speak about the races, we do know that the world champions, Team Botswana, after running a record time of 2:54.47 at the National Stadium and bringing the crowd to its feet in a charged atmosphere, produced a commanding performance on home soil, and they set a new national record and the fastest time ever recorded at the World Relays. And Botswana also stands as the world's third fastest time in history. And as the final baton exchange took place, the stadium erupted, with Botswana sealing a landmark moment in front of an ecstatic home crowd. And it was that home soil advantage that the boys took advantage of. And when we look at some of the results, we do know that South Africa came in second with a 2:55.07, followed by Australia with 2:55.20. In fourth place was Portugal, followed by Zimbabwe, Netherlands, Belgium.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
We are back. Brian, Ronnie, the food is in front of us. Please tell me what we are consuming.
Okay, so we have beef rashes and some potato skewers. Unfortunately, we do not have enough time to showcase Ronnie doing his thing in the kitchen because we wanted to just wrap it up and have the full presentation with you involved. So we did it behind the scenes. Yeah, Ronnie, I think we did a good job.
Yeah, let me know how it
Yes, yeah, I'm very excited myself. Please dig in, gentlemen. But while we are digging in, so the top 8 cup is back.
Yes.
After how long?
Look, Ashwyn, it's been years. We've had the Hagegengop Cup, which substitutes a bit for the Premier League. But to have another cup where if the league is over, footballers can still play, fitness levels can still be high. Very wonderful, but I think it's been over 10 years. I may speak under correction, but I think it's been over 10 years since we've had the top 8 cup.
Is this a signal of some momentum coming along in Namibian football? Are the corporates now coming back to dance? Because we have to be very honest. If you're looking at it analytically, Ongos, because it is both a corporate and a team, is applying pressure to other corporates who do not have a foothold in football. Because if you're looking at a corporate which has now got, different hands in different places, you're going to be like, okay, I'm not in this space. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing more teams named after companies, that kind of thing, and rolling as going. But are we saying that right now there's some momentum coming through with regards to the private sector coming into football?
No, I think it's a right way to go. Because most of the individuals in football, don't have the deep pockets to actually run the game. We are in such a space that, unlike in other countries, we cannot start leagues without any sponsorship. And how the money is actually distributed is not actually the right way. If you go into professional setups, the bulk of the funding comes from broadcasting rights. And here, the money comes from sponsors. So a sponsor gives 30 million to football a season, for instance, for the league. And that money has to be distributed to clubs to be able to run their affairs. So the right way is money should come from broadcasting rights. But it's all about the product. If the product is attractive, broadcasters will come in because now they know that they will be able to recoup their investment into football. As a broadcaster, you don't want to come in, give the league 50, 60, 70 million for a season, and the return is not the return, and the product is also not good enough to attract advertisers.
So it could it possibly get tricky? Why? Because when you look at the biggest clubs, they did it the other way around, right? So first they sort out the broadcasting, and then the sponsors come into this system, which is already pretty much dictated by that. We, because of circumstances, they're coming in dribs and drabs here and there with the sponsors. Now, could we not get to a point where it becomes viable? The league. Now, the way I'm going back to this is you look at a team like then Chelsea. Right now, they've now got corporate folks from America who understand checks and balances. Who understand they're talking about money, right? They called Blue Line, if I'm not mistaken. They understand the money. They understand that that functionality, the privatization. But it's now seeped into how the game is being administered. They are also now looking for coaches that will not be able to speak back to them because they are the money, and because for them they see a business model, not a football club. Could that be a problem?
Let me put it this way. Now, with the FIFA fair play, owners of clubs cannot take money out of their pockets to invest. So you must get sponsors. You have to use money that comes from the football fraternity and football environment.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will find that when clubs are not able to, when clubs don't have money and the owners have deep pockets, now they will use their personal money.
Manchester
City. That's what FIFA.
Newcastle
that's what FIFA doesn't want.
Yes.
So. But in the Namibian context, there is actually a way to do it, and the government has to be part of it. The money has to be channeled from the budget to the Ministry of Information, channeled through the broadcasters, or to the broadcasting. That's a starting point, for instance.
Is NFA supposed to be involved somewhere?
So now the broadcasters have to go to the league and says, we will broadcast your matches. So how much? There's the money. So that money should be distributed now on a monthly basis as a grant to the clubs. So when it's stabilized, then other broadcasters will see that, okay, that's a good product.
We can get on board.
We can get on board. So now the government can step out, and private broadcasters or other broadcasters can come in. And that's the only way. That's the only way. So if it doesn't happen, then the government has to continue through the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation.
And the NBC right now, are they showing all the games?
No.
And perhaps this is now going to be one of the questions. Us as NTV, we are more than happy to show the league on any day, even if you're playing on a Tuesday night. We'd like you to know that.
So now,
But
that's now the other contribution.
Yes.
Contribution to it.
Yes.
Where you can actually broadcast the matches, and now the sponsors can now see that this is a football
It's happening
project.
in front of us.
And
then
we can come in.
So
So everybody makes money at the end of the
exactly.
day.
So I said that because I feel like the first step is the national broadcaster. I can say that because the national broadcaster belongs to all of us. There's no one who's in competition with the national broadcaster.
Yes.
They're here to serve us. We pay taxes. Those taxes give them money. We're allowed to ask.
Yes.
Should they not be the first channel in order to make sure that football is constantly in our faces, since they are aligned to government?
Yes.
And that now gets everevery else excited in how in shooting this, in prioritizing this. I don't know.
No, you are correct.
And-
I mean,
and-
when I turned professional, when I went to SA in 97, the SABC used to be the broadcasters. They used to own the
rights.
the rights.
Yes.
And over the years, SuperSport came in and said, "Oh, this is a good product," and then they threw
Got on board as well.
in the money.
Yeah.
Threw in the money. NBC couldn't challenge what SuperSport is bringing to the
up.
table.
Yeah.
And then they made a deal.
They made it too.
They say, okay, well, I'm giving you, out of 100 games, I'm giving you 30 games a season.
That's all we need, guys. We're going to need to wrap up the segment. But without a doubt, and we certainly hope that this is something that can happen. My first job was with Namibia Broadcasting Corporation. Always in my heart, without a doubt. But of course, when you talk about growing football, it's all hands on deck. We want to do our part.
Yes.
We want the broadcasters to do their part because we have the product, but now the product has to be seen in its correct value. This is In the Mix Africa.